What's up, mi gente? I'm Juan Ayala from Latin Babbler Show, and you're listening to LatinArte, where we bring you exclusive interviews with rising Latin stars of the world. ¿Listos? Vamos! What is up, mi gente? Welcome back to another episode of LatinArte from the Latin Babbler Show. I am your host, Juan Ayala, and joining me today as my co-host is Sylvia, aka Cosmo Latina. Sylvia, welcome back.
Thank you, Juan. I'm excited to be back on LatinArte.
Absolutely. So happy to have you with us. And we're also joined by an actor that you know and love from hit sitcoms like Moesha and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, dramas Generation Kill and Castle, and here to talk with us about the final season of NBC's This Is Us. It's Jon Huertas. Jon, welcome to LatinArte. How are you?
Happening. It's great to be here.
So, Jon, before we get into This Is Us and your body of work, when and where did your acting career start?
At first I thought you were saying you were getting, before you said of work, I thought you were just going to talk about my body. I was
Bueno, we can discuss that later.
I mean, you know, I wanted to be an actor since I was in second grade. And, you know, I had my own stepping stones I went through to get to the point of being an actor. I served in the Air Force for 8 years and studied theater while in the Air Force. But, my career started really in 1995 when I got here after the Air Force, and was lucky enough to start working that year. And then Moesha wasn't too far beyond that. And then, it's been a journey to where we are today. It's been, we've had some bumpy roads, big roadblocks, especially as Latinos. So, for me, it's always been about going against the grain of what Hollywood always wanted to do with Latinos and have Latinos doing. So I think I've done okay to kind of change the perspective of what my landscape could have been by the roles that I've been able to portray.
So firstly, thank you for your service. 8 years. That is incredible. So really thank you for serving. Yeah. And yeah, I was just, looking through your IMDb, seeing all of these early credits you had on some pretty big sitcoms, and then, doing comedies, and then you sort of veered over to dramas, and eventually leading you to shows like Castle and now with This Is Us. So did you have a preference for a type of genre you wanted to tackle, or was it more whatever they send me, I'll take it?
I mean, I think I've always been kind of goofy. So I think early in my career, I definitely leaned into comedy. I went through the Groundlings program, and I did stand up when I first got here. I was, I was bored, I had ADD, I had to do something. So I think comedy was always a part of what I really wanted to do at the beginning. You want to make people laugh. I think I kind of had that in me because of my experience in school, and moving from one place where there were people that looked like me to moving to a place where nobody looked like me except for me. So to avoid getting bullied and things like that, you make people laugh, or to avoid even getting into fights where I was the one getting in trouble, you make people laugh. So that comedy was my thing. But the thing about Castle, for instance, we brought comedy to a genre, the procedurals. We brought a certain level of comedy. Nathan and myself and Seamus Dever, we always tried to find the humor, the levity in a scene, and create a bit of some sort that gave what would normally be just a regular cop scene a little something extra, But I love This Is Us. This Is Us technically was pitched to me as a drama or a dramedy at the beginning. And we have very funny moments. And Susie Kelechi Watson is one of the funniest people I know. She's so funny, so brilliant. We talk about comedy all the time. I love both. And I think now the lines are blurred a little bit more. In fact, some of the stuff that I'm developing, we call it a comedic drama.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of This Is Us, we heard that when you first booked the role, you didn't know initially that your character would be shown in these two time periods and aged up, or that you'd be Rebecca's second husband. What was your reaction to hearing or reading of that for the first time?
I'll tell you how I heard about it the first time. I got cast. The character's name was Mike. I was going to be playing Milo's best friend. Castle had just gotten canceled. I didn't really want to jump onto a network show right away because I was on one for 8 seasons, and I was like, I want to look at some of that streaming, prestigious cable stuff that's out there. But they said, you got to watch this pilot. I watched it. The pilot was ridiculously amazing. I was like, can I be a part of that? And then for a while, until I find one of these dope ass streaming things. And then so I'm just Milo's best friend. What do you want me to do? I'm gonna come in every once in a while. And then I got a call saying, hey, come to Deep in the Valley. There's this makeup special effects house. They need to do a life cast, put the whole silicone and plaster whole thing from your shoulders up the top of your head. You got 2 little holes to breathe through. And I was like, why? They do that on Star Trek, which I'd love to work on Star Trek, but they do that on Trek. Why are we doing it on Milo's best friend, Jack's best friend? And when I got to the makeup house, and I literally asked them, like, why are we doing this? They said, oh, because, when we age you, when you're married to Rebecca, and I had to stop. I'm like, look, you guys, I don't know if you read the scripts, but Jack's married to Rebecca. And they were like, yeah, but you're married to her present day. And I'm like, what? I didn't know what was happening. So that's when I found out. And it wasn't even in any of the scripts I had read yet. So that's the story. And I was, I am a Trekkie. And so I got into, I was like, this is my version of Star Trek. I get to put on that alien makeup. Me, Elder Miguel, is like an alien.
It's funny. My assumption would have been like, oh, they have to do, oh God, are they killing me off? Some gruesome injury that they have to put on my face or something.
No.
So, there are so many big surprises and twists in the show every season. It feels like every episode there's some big revelation. And I know that, communication differs from show to show. So would you get a heads up when one of these like big twists were coming, or was it sort of revealed to you at the table read?
We don't do table reads, but I think we've done one in the entire life of the show. But we usually do know when the big twists are coming. Dan's not that mean to us. So we knew Jack was going to die. I knew after that makeup test. So yeah, I mean, and a lot of it is collaborative. The writers and the showrunners and Dan, they want to talk to us about story. They really value the actors as artists and our opinions, and so they collab with us. They have their map, they have their plans, but they do collab with us a lot. And I was very lucky for them to collab with me a ton on Miguel, because we didn't really have anybody Latino in the writers' room, and so if they want to get Miguel's backstory and his diverse background correctly, they would speak to me. They would have to, and I every year made sure that we were talking about it. And so yeah, it's been such a collaboration that there hasn't been any big surprise. The biggest surprise, I will actually, let me reverse that a little bit. Last season, when we found out that Katobi was not going to be a Katobi anymore, that was a big surprise to me, and it actually made me sad. That I thought their love story was so awesome, so cool, so beautiful, so different. And the fact that they're going to be no more is still a little sad to me.
Precisely
That's really
because of that and so many other surprises and twists, unexpected twists. The show has got people crying every week, many relating to different characters. And I know that what resonated for me, particularly because of what was going on in my personal life, was when Miguel became Rebecca's caregiver and the process that it took, especially for Randall, to give Miguel the place that he deserved in Rebecca's life. How did you tap into that?
So my mother-in-law has also been diagnosed with dementia, and so is my mother. And my wife's best friend, same age as my wife, her husband got diagnosed super early, and he just passed away in December, and it was a very rapid decline. So that stuff surrounds me. And so, so my own personal experience with it helped me really get ready to be a part of that story and that storyline. But, I really felt that Miguel had to be the caregiver. And Randall's always inserting himself and trying to, be that person in the world of This Is Us. And I think that, his eyes had to be opened to that as a character in order for that character to grow, because Randall was starting to feel, to me personally, as a fan of the show, he was starting to feel a little selfish, a little self-centered, and like, I'm the person who can save everybody and everything and everyone. So I felt like, it was really Rebecca that stepped up and said, Miguel is my life partner. This is his responsibility, and you're going to listen to me. And I love that. So yeah, I think that it's going to be something that you guys really, as an audience, you'll see that it's hard as a caregiver to deal with this.
And it's something that is a reality for so many people.
Yeah.
Because just dementia is so common. And again, that's why the show has been as successful as it has, because everyone's resonating with someone in that family. They're just like, that's me. It's like, really, even if the representation isn't there racially or ethnically, it's still like, that's still my reality. I am this person, whether it's the struggling actor or whoever it is. It's very much reality.
Well, I think that sometimes people, in our industry and just in general, forget that Latinos, especially, we're all Latino here. So, especially we experience the same life events that Anglos, that African Americans, that Asians, we all share so many life experiences. All of our stories don't take place in the barrio. Not all of our stories take place are about immigration isn't at the center of it. But a lot of the stories that we are fed through media and through television, those are the stories. Those are the center of the stories. And so I think the thing about This Is Us is like you have some representation on the show, and it's more about the quality of representation than the quantity of representation. Yeah. Instead of throwing 10 immigration stories at us and one, to balance that, you have one story about a Latino who's become successful. He gets the girl. He's supportive of his family. He shares love. He shares situations that shows, that we all experience that regardless of our background. And Latinos want to see themselves experiencing love, success. And I think that that's one thing that's been positive about This Is Us with my character in particular, and something that I've helped, that they've allowed me to help talk about and speak about for Miguel has been a special experience.
Absolutely. And the goal of our show is to showcase Latinx voices and talent, and to make sure that they get a platform to share their stories. As you were talking about representation, it is better now, right, than it was back in the day. Now, looking back, do you remember the first time you saw a performance that made you feel represented?
Well, there are two different answers to that question. I think the first time I saw someone on screen that I was like, oh, that's me, was Isai Morales in Bad Boys, which was with Sean Penn. And I said, that guy looks and sounds like me. But he was still in prison and trying to kill Sean Penn. So it wasn't my personal experience, but he looked and sounded like me. So that's that one. I haven't seen anybody that's had my exact experience, but the first time I really felt like, oh, there's someone who's a good person, a hero, was Chips and Erik Estrada. Mm-hmm. He played a cop. He was one of two leads, and he was, a hero. That's when I was like, that's who we are. That's who we can be. So it counterbalanced that Isai Morales character, where I saw someone who looked and sounded like me, who was a prisoner and a bad guy and trying to kill somebody. But this is the other side of that. We have a choice. We can be this or we can be that. So but for me, I haven't seen a lot of. I haven't seen enough. It's not that I haven't seen a lot. I haven't seen enough, and I haven't seen enough quality seen plenty. I've seen plenty, but just the quality. Where's our master of none? Where's our Latino master of none? Where's our, that's the kind of stuff I'm still looking for. The quirky stories, more of the sci-fi. I love seeing Wilson Cruz on Star Trek Discovery, not only, a Puerto Rican doctor, the best doctor in the show, but also someone who is in a same-sex relationship with someone, and an interracial relationship, a biracial relationship. I want to see more of that. We mix. That's I love. Now that we're seeing more quality, I think.
Yeah, completely agree. It's been so impactful. Growing up, seeing how much the representation has changed. I remember one of the first new Latin families I saw on TV was in George Lopez show. And then there wasn't another show like that for such a long time. And now it's Latin dramas and Latin shows are popping up everywhere, like Gentified and with the new series Promised Land, one of my favorites this year. And I tweeted the other day, I was like, where's the Latin Succession? Where's the Latin Sex in the City? Like, there are all these shows that would work so well.
Amazon has something coming that if it's done right will be like a Succession meets True Blood. We'll see. We'll see if hopefully it comes to fruition. But what I'd like to see, and this should be very personal to you, Juan, is Marvel finally doing a Latino superhero.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it.
and Moon Knight. I love that Oscar Isaac is playing Moon Knight, and we see a Latino in a superhero character, but the character is not Latino. But Hector Ayala, who is the White Tiger, who is, in my opinion, one of the most badass Marvel superheroes there are. That's a story that should be told. And I'm charging you, Juan, since you share the same last name, to push Marvel to make that fucking movie.
I have been manifesting. So I'm also an actor. So I've been manifesting that for so long. I'm like, look, we share the same last name. He's a New York guy. I'm here in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Hey, well, check this out. Go to my Vimeo page. And I got a Vimeo page. Go to my Vimeo page and you see my proof of concept, because I pitched Marvel TV the idea of the White Tiger back, that's been like maybe 7 or 8 years ago. So you'll see my proof of concept of the White Tiger.
I'm absolutely gonna check that out. That sounds amazing.
I played Hector Ayala.
That's so badass. That's so cool. So before we wrap up, just you've had such a long and successful career. So is there any advice or words of wisdom that you can share with any of the young Latinx actors who might be listening?
I mean, my advice is just to, if you want to do this, do it. If you're an actor, just don't say, I want to be an actor. You are an actor, and find a way to act. And there's so many different ways to do it, whether it's on stage, whether it's you creating your own thing for Vimeo, YouTube, or any other platform. You have to be seen and never quit. Just don't quit. It doesn't matter if it's in your heart, then you have to just follow it and just don't quit and just do it.
Awesome. Jon, thank you so much for joining us today on LatinArte. And again, congratulations on such a successful run of the show. I can't wait to see this last couple of episodes. If folks want to find you on Instagram, where can they find you?
At Jon Huertas.
Awesome.
You can follow me at Cosmo Latina Cares.
And follow me at Juan Ayala Official, and visit latinbabbler.com. Follow us on Instagram at Latin Babbler Show for more of our content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch new episodes of our podcast there and across all podcasting platforms. And don't miss Jon Huertas and the return of the final season of This Is Us, February 22nd on NBC, and catch up on Peacock and Hulu. Thanks for joining us, y'all. We are out.
Desde Nicaragua hasta Costa Rica, con esta canción todo mundo se identifica. Llamen a los chilenos y a los cubanos, llamen a Puerto Rico y a los mexicanos, que ya se armó la rumba. Desde Panamá hasta Ecuador, vámonos a Perú y luego hasta Salvador. Que se escuche en Brasil y Argentina. Yo quiero un grito de mi gente latina y levantaré mi bandera, estando en mi país o estando allá afuera, porque para mí, mira, no existen fronteras. Yo levantaré mi bandera.